Hey everyone, hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I am here to talk about the emotion of the week. And this week's emotion is a tough one. It's tricky, and it's shame. Because as I've said before, all emotions are valid, and they're also necessary for us to grow and learn and, for our emotional health. So yeah, today I kept the last one for the hardest for me. And I honestly talked to my therapist about it last week because, there's shame, spiraling and all that kind of stuff that happens when you have PTSD and depression. And so I talked with her about it for a little bit and she helped me out. So thank you, therapist. Anyway, I brought Moody here to say hi because Moody is going back to the manufacturer. As you can see, his Velcro isn't great. So they want me to send him back because they decided to send him to a different factory that would work towards making a better product. And I'm truly grateful, and I love when companies stand by their brand and by their products. So I'm bringing him out for one more time today before he says goodbye. He's going to go see some friends this week on Tuesday, and then I'm sending him back to the factory. Bye, Moody. We'll see you again. But anyway, so back to shame. Of course, I had to, push it aside for a little bit because it's a tricky one. It's a tough emotion. So in my DBT skills, the dialectical behavioral therapy that I do, they list out all of the emotions and they list out the reasons why you have these kind of emotions. And the two that are the tricky ones for me are guilt and shame. And they actually are two very different things. Guilt is when you feel that you have done something against your own moral contract, your own ideals. And shame is when you have the feel that you did something against the society that surrounds you, their morals and choices and ideals. So they're two different things, and they can be tricky to keep apart, but they are different. So shame. Here is why shame is a valid emotion that can be, used in the sense that it's a learning tool. So picture, there's a little boy or a little child, and they are in a playground, and they decide that they're going to run up to another child and grab their bucket that they were playing with and then hit them and run away. So that child, the small child, is then spoken to by an adult, and hopefully an adult that they know, like a parent or a family member or a teacher or something like that, and told, we don't hit people. We don't take things from people when they're using them. We keep our hands to ourselves, that kind of thing. And the child can feel the one or two things. The guilt, they can feel it both. They can feel guilt and they can feel shame about it. They may feel guilty because they know they're not supposed to do that. And they went against what they know is something they shouldn't be doing. And or they can feel shame because they've been told by someone, this isn't what we do in our area. This isn't what we do as a social group. We don't hit. We don't take things from other people. And they feel that emotion of shame, but it's a learning moment for them. And hopefully it's a short memory that they keep inside that, no, that's not something we do, but not that feeling, that, that icky feeling of feeling ashamed. So now let's get into the big stuff. There's a difference between shame, telling a child that they are, doing something that may not be right, may not be nice. And then there's telling a child over and over and over again that they aren't a good kid, that they're bad. that they do bad things. That's toxic shame. And what toxic shame does is it takes shame, the valid emotion of shame, and turns it into from I did a bad thing to I am a bad person. And there's where things start to go awry for a child, because when they're told constantly that they're a bad person, they start to literally feel it inside themselves. This can happen in a bunch of different ways. I mean, we can talk about body shaming. We can talk about, just the everyday, unknowns to an adult that they are using terms that cause a child to believe that they're not a good person. And it lingers. So toxic shame really does linger. I'm 46 years old and I'm still working out the toxic shame that I developed from my childhood. And it surrounds a lot of different things. It surrounds, my body, and who I am as a person, and what I ultimately think of myself. If I feel like I do a good job at things. Toxic shame happens when, like you get into a fight with your kid and something, you leave that fight thinking, I'm a bad parent. You see how it kind of like switches from, that wasn't a good interaction. I should maybe go back and talk to my child. But toxic shame will tell you, I'm a bad parent. I just did a terrible thing to my child and I'm a bad parent. So it really does follow you throughout life. So that is shame in a nutshell. I would love to hear what you think about shame, because we all have different ideas on it. It's not a negative emotion until it's turned into a negative thought process. When the emotion turns to feeling of always being a bad person. So please comment below or DM me if you want to talk more about it, because it really is a very sticky kind of emotion. And as I've said before, there are no bad or good emotions. There are just emotions that we deal with when they come up, and how we deal with them is what really counts in the end. Unlearning patterns to create new patterns that will decrease toxic shame, that kind of thing. So that's my little speech for the week on shame. Next week, it's the end of Mental Health Awareness Week. And what I would really love to know is if you guys would like me to continue with the emotions. And I'm not going to stick with all of what we think are bad emotions. I want to talk about the good ones too. So let me know what the next emotion should be of the week. And I will see you guys later. Say bye, Moody.